All right, what's up, everybody? So, this is a new thing for me. Normally, I just do my stuff, do my thing in the quiet of my own home. I figured maybe I'd share my process with the two or three people who care. Why not? This is something I've wanted to do for quite some time, and I've had this hat for oh goodness, going on 15 plus years. And this Stetson, give me just a second. Let me get my main camera. The one I was looking at was a little laggy. Okay. Real time camera. Woohoo. Alright, cool. So, how's that say? I've had this camera, this cat. My cat is laying at my feet. I'm looking at a camera. Cat and hat, they rhyme. I've had the cat and hat. I've had this hat longer than this cat. I've had this cat for a decade. So, I had this cat. Holy cow. Words. I have had this hat for at least 15 years or so, and I just think it's really cool. And I've been doing leather work for some time now, and I recently got a couple new pieces of equipment. I got a sewing machine and a serger, which I only needed the sewing machine to do the hat. There is a liner inside, and after looking at it, I see that they didn't even really use a serger. Here, let me pull this in closer. They didn't even serge this thread. It's just folded over and sewn into a seam. And I figured I could do a little bit better than that. Now that I got a nice serger, I could do something. I don't know what material I'm going to do with my hat rim. I have this purple cloth. I've I've made this hat rim, but I kind of hate it. I have several different cloths. I have this old polo, and it's a real soft material. I really like it, even if it's the inside or the outside. I like the purple. I'm a big fan of purple, and I think together they would be good. This one I had a leather core that I put inside of it, and that ended up being too thick. The hat band on this Stetson, it's just a couple different layers of cloth, so I think that's going to be something that I'm going to mimic in the end. Kitty, can I have that? Thank you. Okay. So, the hat really only has three major leather components to it. It has the rim, then it has the part that goes around your head, and then the crown. Basically, I'm just going to cut them out, and then I think my first step tonight will be that Stetson hat. It has a leather rim, or not a, inside the leather rim is wire, so you can fold it up and bend it however you want, whatever kind of shape you'd like. And then it is sewn over. And looking at this edge that they did on this hat, I want to say that I can make it a little cleaner. Maybe. Maybe I can make it a little cleaner. So anywho, I'm going to cut out this rim, and then this is pretty pretty much the circumference of the other hat, maybe a little bit bigger. I can cut the wire down. It's easy to do. So it's always good practice when you are tracing things to cut them out. Trace it on the back side so that, say, when you're cutting, you don't get all of your line off. This is the side that we use, so you don't want to have any extra ink left over, you know, if you are going to be using it. You know, leather's not cheap, so you want to use as much of it as possible. And using as much of it as possible, I kind of did myself dirty. I started making a project and stopped almost immediately into it, and I had already did myself the disservice of drawing a pattern that it's going to be a minute before I get around to it, you know, so the hat rim, I think I got enough space. Whew, look at that right there. I can pop right there. Let's check the other side, make sure we don't have any weird, oh, these guys. Yep, right here. This is where it gets hung up in the tannery. So that gives me enough room. Scooch that all the way up here to the end. And, man, if I woo. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Don't ban me, YouTube, because I said the fun word. Alright. I think if we avoid this other project that I had started and abandoned, or I just cut it out and make myself commit. Commitment, am I right? So alright, I think that takes care of my leather placement. But damn, if I put that hat there, that takes out the potential of doing like a belt or a really long strap. I kind of really did myself dirty. I could put that there and cut out. This is the top of the hat. You know, on the inside of the hat, I don't want to have any lines on the inside because with this leather project, everything is going to be visible on all of the leather. You're going to see everything, every little bit of it. Oh, I did myself a disservice. The title of the podcast says Adam outthinks himself. Alright. I mean, when am I going to be making any straps? I don't know. It's getting cold out. People are trapped inside more cordage season. Fucking stay up there. Hits. Chill out, bro. Okay. Now, straps or not? Straps or no straps? We need some strap. Trying to find the longest, straightest section of leather. I'm just looking at this to see what different projects I could do. You know, I got a couple holsters I want to do. I'm always wanting to do a holster. And it's always for the same gun, too. I should make more holsters for other guns. Let's see, folding that over, that leaves me with... Really, honestly, I'd only be cutting off that much. And then... Give me a second, I have to try on my leather. Ugh. I mean, it's strap length now. I would really do myself a disservice. Or is this the longest side? I think this is my longest side down here. Maybe I should have planned this out before I started the video. Ah. We got this flat end. Looks like I've already done some cutting here, so I could line this up really close. Hat rim. I suppose if the hat rim is close, it's on the outside, it's okay because it's going to fold over itself. And then this dude, he just fits. Okay. Oh, man, okay. I am going to be... I guess this is just going to be leather for another project. Okay. I don't want this to move on me. I'm just going to pop a little tape down. I don't want to secure it too hard because I do have to draw around it. I have so many writing utensils at my disposal since we're on paper. Don't mind me while I take forever tracing. Okay. Cool. That's one. Now I know what you're thinking. Adam, you're a really smart guy. So that means you have a really big brain. So that means you have a really big head to hold that big brain, but that's a really small hole in this hat. Well, I'm glad you noticed that. So, in this pattern here, I have some thinking lines, but inside the hat, there's some notches cut out. And that means these become three-dimensional and they fold up like that. That's how, when the hat rim goes down on top of it, I will be able to attach it together. So say that becomes a three-dimensional part, the hat rim coming up, or the inside of the hat rim coming up, and then I can then secure it to the outside where I would be then sewing through. You know, I don't think I'm thinking about going back to school for maybe like a seamstress, whatever the fuck you call it. And I don't know if I'd be very good at it. I don't even know what the fucking the hat parts of the hat are called. The rim and the this part. Yeah. That's what I got. All right. Anyway, back to tracing. With the stuff they taught us in middle school when we were tracing Dragon Ball Z photos instead of listening to the biology teacher talk about the biology stuff. All right. That cat tracing the inner circle. This one is less important that I get straight because it gets hidden away under the hat rim. But I still want to do a good job. Ugh, this leather's so nice and smooth. Right. Just tracing, tracing, tracing. Call me Tracy with how much I'm tracing. Fuck, I love Sharpies, dude. All right, one more to go. Where's my water cup? Shit. Okay, should be done with tape now. All right. Come on. I'm not gonna hurt you. Come on. Dude. Dude. Okay. We'll come back to you. Okay, Buttercup. Right. Fucking. Not like this has to be kind of precise. Okay. So, back when I was in middle school, oh god, No, before I got into leather crafting. Not right before, well, right before when I started to be like, huh, I think I might want to do this and watch some videos on what it takes, the grit and the stamina and duration. And I had all that, so I was just watching some videos of dudes making stuff. And one of the videos I watched and I found really informative was this feller from Weaver Leathercraft. And one thing he always said when you start a new project, get a new razor blade into your cutting tool. That way it makes cleaner cuts and everything. So let's get to cutting, shall we? Make sure we don't not fold it over ourselves so we're not cutting into any valuable leather. Gonna use some straight edges over here. Nice clean cut. That's my favorite thing, getting fingers. Nice clean cuts. Okay. We're gonna come over here. And I'm not trying to overshoot too far because I could still use that for some. And when I'm cutting, I like to try to keep myself square with the knife. Just helps making better lines, better cut lines. Okay. I may have veered a little bit, but nothing that's incorrect. As Daddy would have it, go get the belt and we'll correct it. We'll correct that behavior. Hi, kitty cat. Ruff. That's my little helping buddy. Yes, you are. My helping buddy. Okay. Cut out. Okay. Hmm. Now, since I don't have a straight edge this shape, I'm going to have to cut it freehand and do my best to get a really good straight line. I think I'm going to just take it a little past the line. Just be... or I just do it now. Okay. There has to be an easier way to do it. I guess maybe switch directions here. I'll just turn my back to the camera for a moment. Oh, okay. Let me just readjust my tripod here. Okay. So I'm trying for as precise of a cut as possible. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room. I mean, I measured that pretty precise when I cut this. So I should trust. I'm gonna trust my. I'm gonna trust the pattern I made and follow this line, baby. My ceiling light on? My ceiling light isn't on. Well, that gives me even more light. Cool. And that's the front of the hat. Right here in this little dip. I cut 1 millimeter too far away from the line. Okay. I don't want to rip it out because I don't have little weird bristly fibers, so. Huh. Well, there's a little. I don't know if you can see that. A little weird color. Maybe it'll go away when the hat gets dyed. Okay. So I'm testing how square or not. I mean, I know I got these corners square, but I'm just trying to see how exact everything is. So I got these little clamps, squeezes, squeezes, these clamps, and I'm cut these little leather strips out just to protect the leather. Now let's see. Looks like we got just a little bit to take off there. And then just a little bit to take off there. And oh, can we see that? Is that overhead light too much? Is it making too much glare? So under here, higher, higher. Okay, here we go. So you can see some pin line hanging through, so I gotta cut that off. And then I gotta do the same thing here. I gotta remove a little bit. And then we flip around the other direction. I got some more to remove, or I just leave it and one side of the hat be just a little bit taller, which, I'm not about that life. I'm going to make that perfect. Cut it down, make it perfect. I don't think this is enough to worry about. So that's the next move. Well, actually, I will wait on this. I will set that to the side and move on. Oh boy, cutting out this hat rim. That's my gut, my Thanksgiving gut. Yeah, cutting this out. Oh boy. Let's just start with a bigger cut, and then I will trim it up. Bueno, bueno. All right. We'll clean that up here in a second. All right. Let's get this big, long, bulky strip out of our way. Oh, fold her up this way so the nice usables inside part that we dye and stamp and show off. Roll it up so that it's on the inside so that when it's being stored, if any accidents and oopsies happen to this side, the side that will be more than likely to hide. I'll let you know we're making a hat where you see both sides and you have to pick another project, which is unfortunate. Someone has a great time hanging out with me. Oh, yeah, that's a good girl. All right. Oh, you came back. Hi. I just keep popping you with static electricity. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. Ugh. Okay. I got just one more thing I want to do before I bend that hat rim. Well, two more things. I gotta cut out the hat rim and all the other parts. But then once I get all the other parts cut out, then I'm going to measure the hat rim and I'm going to start cutting. Okay. Get my blade. Let's see. I can zoom in a little bit, can't I? We'll say the circle for last. So if I come in here and start cutting this way, am I going to be blocking the camera? Nope. All right. So we're going to just run it right along the edge. And I always find cutting in a pulling motion where you're pulling the blade towards you, you have the most control. You're less likely to have an oopsie, go flying off and cut some leather that you didn't mean to. Because those are mistakes that are literally costly. And swing around the corner. Excellent. This is the front of our hat up here. This little tip. Okay, okay. Get out of here. Now, let's see what that texty text was. How professional of me, I know, right? Forgive me just a second. Okay. Let's finish off cutting this little bit. So one trick, if you're not comfortable with cutting in a circle, you can just take your time and cut little strips. But I'm comfortable with cutting in a circle. I don't have much left to cut off there. Okay, that's pretty close. That's a good shape. Remove this. Okay. Just got to be very careful not to cut your top leather. Oh no. These need to be clean cuts because these edges are going to show. Okay. And I think there's a little something something over here. There was just barely. I actually need to be careful here because this whole entire piece of leather is exposed and shown. So I'll have a top stitch here, and a top stitch here, and a top stitch here. Top stitch here, top stitch there, here, stitch there, stitch everywhere, top stitch, stitch, stitch. The sewing machine goes. Okay. That's nice. That looks real nice. Bueno. We're doing good. Now, alright, the rim. This rim job is going to be hopefully not a shitty rim job. I mean, clean and quick. It'll be over before we know it. guess I could have started there. Uh, Surprisingly, my left hand was more worn out from that than my right hand. My left wrist was from holding that down, I guess. Oh, a little weird fudgy spot there that I missed. Oh well. Nice leather circle. Now, an 8mm hat rim. Where's my ruler? Ruler. Here we go. This tool. It's not 8mm. Let's see, how much? I'm gonna measure this hat again. That's 1 whole millimeter that gets folded over. So set this to 1mm. Okay. Now let's go ahead and try to trim off a little bit more of this Sharpie. Alright. Almost. We got that taken care of. Okay. So, and only having an 8mm rim, would mean that this is where the hat gets folded to. So 9 millimeters in. Ugh. Yes, I don't have a real compass. I mean, I do have a real compass, but not like one that gets this big. So I've made one. That's roughly 9. All right. Let's see, what's going to be the easiest way to... Oh, that should match what I've drawn here. Let me... Ooh. Close your blades, kid. Inner hole. Outer hole. Huh. Let me do a quick one of these real quick. Okay, so I think I've done this. Oh yeah, I have. Okay, I'm just a quarter of it. So now I could... My head's not completely round, it's a little egghead shaped. So that's what I had kind of drawn here. So this is perfect. This is the perfect circle that I'd already drawn earlier. That's that all the way around. I honestly think it's not a bad thing, you know, being perfectly round. It might... Leather stretches. My head will eventually force its way into the hat taking shape. Okay, cool. And that pretty much represents what I had already measured. So inside the hat, they actually, don't cut down super far. That's about 2 millimeters. So from where it stretches to where it cuts, about 2 millimeters. So this should be my inner ring here instead of here. I need to cut off an extra 1.5 millimeters. So I guess, let's see, what is that distance? Call it 11 millimeters. Cool. I need another little sip of water. I'm getting kind of thirsty just talking. I generally keep those thoughts to myself, but you're here with me, so I'll share. All right. Oh my goodness, I love this song. I should be more center camera working so you can see better. Okay. We will be there. We'll meet each other in the dark. I'll see you too. We'll see together in the dark. If it's coming for me, and I will be there. We guide each other in the dark. But you that it terrifies me, I will be there. We guide each other in the dark. Okay. So this is my cut line. This is my fold line. This cut doesn't have to be as pretty because it is going to be held behind a hat band. Oh, beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Something. Okay, just to help with bending, slit, 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 It's been so long since I've heard this friggin' song. Okay, how's this outer ring look? I'm just trying to cut off any little pointy or square bits. Okay. So I need to, oh. Alright, I never took that off the 1mm. So this is going to be my fold line. This is where I'm going to roll the rim over. Just like this here. And then I'll put the wire in it. And then sew. Oh. Forgive me. Forgive me. I hate it when I do that. Okay, at least we're not wet and causing significant lines here. Okay. Could have been worse. Oh, I fixed it. Okay, that's half of the hat rim. Damn, that's only half of the hat rim. Now, I should reiterate, I don't know if I said it, but I'm going to say it now. This is my first time making a hat out of leather. So we'll see how I do. Okay, nice and measured. Oh, maybe when I get this hat wet, the leather wet, I can massage that boo-boo out. Well, I'll try to massage the boo-boo out now. Okay, I can't even really see where little boo boo is. Okay, it's right here. Yeah, that's not bad. It's cute. Okay. Alright, now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go get this wet. So I gotta go get this soaked so I can successfully bend the leather and it keep its shape. Be right back. Can you smell that? There's nothing I love more than the smell of wet leather and like after you dampen it to stamp it and fold it and stuff. Just I don't know, man. Smells so good. Getting up any excess water. All right, I've wet formed some leather pieces before, so I can kind of say I know what I'm doing, but making a hat, I have no idea what the hell we're doing. So I guess let's get at it. We're gonna start with this rim. Let's see. Let me just put a little leather under here because I don't want to pick up the cuts and scratches in my cutting board when I'm applying pressure for the rollover here. What, kitty cat? Hi. What's up? Okay. Well, let's just frickin' do this by hand. I can barely see that line that I scratched into here, which is the good thing because he wants to see that at the end of the day. Well, I say scratch. I'd say scored is more appropriate. I didn't scratch the leather at all. It's more of just a smooth piece of metal that made a mark that has now gone away. Wow, this is some process. It's going to take a minute. My fingers are going to be sore in the morning. Yes, I know. I Could have said something, but I took the high road and avoided finger and butthole jokes. You're welcome. That's one fold all the way around. Now I just gotta get it to be more smooth. What's up, kitty cat? Hi. What? Is it getting close to bedtime? It's only 10 p.m. It's nowhere close to bedtime, kitty cat. We've got work to do, girl. Well, I've got work to do. You can just chill out. Or do you just want me to turn all these lights off because it's impeding on your chilling out process? I know you like hanging out in here when it's dark. Okay. Reminds me of working with wet pizza dough. Honestly. Now, sewing this regularly, sure, I could do that just fine. Sewing this rim down, which, maybe I'll just do that. But adding that wire rim and sewing and not puncturing the wire rim, that's going to be a challenge. But looking at this hat, it looks like they sewed with this side up with the needles going through just so they could see what they were doing. So I can do that with my hat too. Because that's what they did with Stetson. I can tell which way the needle went through the leather from the sewing machine just by looking at it. And I can tell they went down in this direction. I love working with leather. It's so cool. Like, it bends and stretches. You you're its boss. You can tell it what to do. Let's see, how's that gonna look on the top? Yeah, that's gonna look pretty dang good. Okay. Why did my music stop? Did you do something, cat? What the hell did my cat do? That my music stopped. Dude, what the fuck? She walks across my desk. Oh. She managed to. Okay, so I have a stream deck, and on that stream deck, I have a system mute button, and that's what she pushed. That little. Okay, cat, you're something. All right, let's. This is a nice piece of leather. I don't want to mar it up by using it as a sacrifice. We'll sacrifice this. Oh, we got some dye on this. No, we won't. Okay, oh, some dye on that too. Thicker piece of leather, less likely to make marks. Is that gonna matter? Alright, we're just gonna set that rim aside, and then we're gonna work on the inside here now. Alright. I don't need you. This is going to be interesting to sew on the sewing machine. Which way did they go through? Dude, the stitching's kind of falling apart in this hat. Huh. Well, I mean, I've had it for so damn long, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Some of it got overstitched, it looks like. Huh. Okay. Well, it fits the noggin. That's for sure. All right. Let's do this corner again. And now I just want to look at it from the top side, making sure that it's nice and round, that there's not any weird, just angles. So I'm going to share a story with you guys. I'm not going to name any names. Just, I know some people. I used to work with them way back in the day. And this one chick and this one dude. Okay, there's a couple, and I'd hung out with them and this other chick and some other people at a party. So, this dude with the girlfriend, one day me and him are hanging out solo, and that he's like, yo, that chick, the one that we all went to her house and partied, me and her like fucked. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, no, 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 me and my girl, we're cool. We have a thing, an open relationship thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm just sitting there thinking about this chick telling a story at the party about how one of her baby daddies is in, like, jail and shit. And I can only think, that dude probably isn't cool with sharing. And when he gets out, like, huh, I wonder if she shares what she does on the outside with him. Huh. Anyway, keep in your pants, kids. That's a pretty nice rim job I did. It will sew down nicely. Now I just need to make sure that this inner rim is standing so that when I sew, I got plenty of real estate to work with. Okay. And then we might have to make some size adjustments. This will come around here. Oh, look at that. I cut that so freaking good. Oh my goodness. You know, maybe we're going to be a little too tall. We cut in here. We might have to make some more adjustments on this piece based off of what I got here. But damn. Lengthwise going around, I frickin' nailed it. Whoa. Shit. That's coming together. That's going to be a real hat, everybody. I'll have plenty of room for my wire. I think I will put the wire in so, and then trim off the excess and finish sewing. So that way it's all nice in one piece. I can do it. Oh, man. I'm just so excited. Okay, well, I think this is a good enough place for me to call it for the evening. Oh, man. I gotta say, let me readjust that camera a little bit. There we go. Tonight was a good night. I can't wait to have a sweet leather cowboy hat of my own that I made. I got a couple sweet cowboy hats that are made of leather, but none that I've made. And man, I try to be humble, but this is a humble brag. I'm gonna say this hat is gonna be on par and equivalent with Stetson. A Stetson hat. I'm saying it. I'm making the brag, the not so humble brag. Anyway,
Thanks for watching. You have a good one.